What's going on, everybody? Let me close this window up here. So I like to stream in the morning. So due to the fact of me streaming in the morning, there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people outside in the morning. You got kids going to school, all kinds of stuff. So it does get a little bit loud. Unfortunately, I can't keep the window open and enjoy the cool late spring morning. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the stream on my phone, make sure it's running smoothly. Cool late spring morning. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the stream on my phone, make sure it's running smoothly. Yeah, so appears to be running smooth. So the plan today, I talked about it in the last live stream, is to simulate up until about the Oakland Athletics game. And then from there, we will simulate the rest of spring training. This will be the last live stream, then we'll finally get back into making normal videos. I know that it's kind of gotten a little weird because of the fact that we haven't made a normal video in a while. It's been a lot of live streams. You had the off season, then first you had the draft, then you had like 2 normal episodes, then you had the off season, first spring training episode, and now this spring training episode. But after this, we will get into actual videos again. So not to worry there. So let's just hop right into it. I went around and I messed with some of the players' numbers. Like I noticed that Nick Senzel's number 15 had been changed to number 16, and Randall Grichuk had taken it. But to me, Nick Senzel's been here longer. He's wearing 15. Grichuk can wear 16. And then I also went on here and changed Matt McLain's preferred number to 15. Since 15's taken up, he'll be wearing number 29 though. And MLB Marte, not sure what I'm going to do there yet. Excuse me. For now, he will be wearing number 68. So let's just get right into this here, and we'll simulate up to the Oakland Athletics game, and then we'll go ahead and... Are we going to... We've played 15 games, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we'll keep these lined up, and then after that, we'll swap it over. So let's go ahead and just start simulating. We're going to look at every box score here in spring training. As Cam Collier comes away with a hit. Chad Pender gets a hit. That's good to see out of him. CJ Crone and Jake Fraley with hits. And then Austin Hendrick with 2 hits. Jesse Winker with 2 hits. Jonathan India with 1. And Stuart Fairchild with 3 hits. Home runs for Fraley and Hendrick, so that's good to see. And then Victor Castaneda pitched very well in this game. Lucchesi came in, struggled a little bit. Will Smith continues to struggle. He has not been good at all for us. Tony Santillan, no earned runs, really good outing. Justin Dunn, really good outing. And Brad Hand allows 2 earned. Unfortunate there. Lose 3-8 against the Dodgers. We are having a rough spring training right now. Matt McLain goes 0 for 3. Spencer Steer goes 1 for 3. Nick Plummer goes 1 for 2. Christian Encarnacion Strand goes 2 for 3. And other than that, nobody else did anything for us. We struck out 9 times. Encarnacion Strand with a home run in this one. And then looking at the pitching, look at Austin. Okay, we'll talk about it. Jonathan Heasley got the start. He went 5 innings, 3 earned. Not terrible. Joey Lucchesi bounced back then, and Carl Edwards really struggled. Chase Petty did his thing. Then look at Austin Davis. 1 inning pitched, no earned runs, and a strikeout. He has not allowed a single run this spring training. This guy has been very good. Austin Davis, remember his name. He'll be on the big league roster for sure. And then you got a 9-3 victory here. McLain goes 1 for 4. Gio Urshela 1 for 4. Heriberto Hernandez goes 3 for 5. Christian Encarnacion Strand, Spencer Steer with hits. Randall Grichuk with 2. Chad Pender with 1. Noelvi Marte with 2. And Stuart Fairchild with 1 as well. Home runs for Hernandez, and then 2 for Noelvi Marte. Gio Urshela, here's Heriberto Hernandez there. Hit by pitch, Steer. And then looking at the pitching here, Joey Lucchesi, 3 earned in his start. He's kind of struggled. Brandon Williamson, no earned. Will Smith, no earned. Brad Hand, and then Austin Davis again, no earned runs throughout all spring training. It's been incredible. Let's go ahead and simulate. We lose 3-5 here. Ellie De La Cruz gets a hit. Cam Collier with a hit. Stevenson with 2. Senzel with 1. CJ Crone with 1. Jake Fraley with 1. And Stuart Fairchild with a hit. Home runs for Cam Collier and Jake Fraley. And then looking at the pitching, Andrew Abbott goes 5 innings, 1 earned run. Brandon Williamson allows 3 earned, so that's kind of a struggle of a game. So that's that. So who are we going to give this start to? I mean, I imagine we can give it to Castaneda, but you look at Williamson, and he's the one that's gotten the least amount of innings out of us. And you got a guy like Justin Dunn, which, I'm going to be honest with you, Brandon Williamson has struggled. He's been our worst pitcher. So if... And then Joey Lucchesi after that has really struggled for us. And basically, this is just to find out the 3 and 4 pitchers. So, do we give Justin Dunn an opportunity? Do we go Chase Petty? Or do we just rock with Brandon Williamson and see if we can have a good outing with him? I think that's what we do. Let's not think about it too hard. Let's just go ahead and get in this game. Play full game. And then, do we have the... What does this have right here? Let's go ahead and rock this one. It says second home cap. Let's go with that. All right, so we can go Castaneda. Let's get one more look at Brandon Williamson because this is actually kind of important here. And then for the lineup, we're just gonna go with what we have. Yeah, we'll go with what I've set, and then we'll adjust accordingly. Austin Hendrick has struggled. I don't know, Carey's got to figure it out. Will Benson hasn't played in a while and is starting to lose his edge. You should think about starting him today and giving him... you know what? Let's do that. Austin Hendrick, he's got 30 at-bats so far, which isn't a lot, but he has struggled. Let's give Will Benson an opportunity. He hasn't had 1 at-bat all spring. I think it's fair. But see the batting average leaders here. You got Stuart Fairchild, Winker, and Stevenson all batting above 275 practically. India batting 229 has really kind of struggled. You want to get our best 9 out there every game. That's the goal when you set this opening day lineup, which, speaking of that, I'll get this piece of paper ready because we know that 26 guys are going to make it. 14 of these guys aren't going to make it. So I think the easiest way is just to go through here and find out who's not making the roster. So we'll be facing Paul Blackburn today. And here's Ellie De La Cruz. He's got 1 home run here in the spring, batting 225. Hasn't really batted that well. Really looking for him to become more of a patient hitter. That's the biggest thing with him. Become more patient. You know, when you go up 2-0, the way he is right now, that's really good. So the goal today is to play this game against the Oakland Athletics, simulate the rest of spring training, then we will set our opening day lineups. And then that will be it for the live stream. So should be no longer than maybe an hour and 45 minutes, hopefully. We're going to swing at that one. It's going to be called a strike anyway, regardless if we swing or not, and we are way behind it. You have to excuse me, it's been a couple days since I played, so I might be a little tardy on the swings. There we go, base knock up the middle for Ellie De La Cruz, and he struggles when I don't play with him, but when I've played with him, I think he has played pretty well. As that's exactly what you want. It's a hard hit ball right up the middle. And here's Cam Collier. He's batting 160. He's not big league ready yet. That's for sure. You watched a cutter in for a strike. Yeah, he's not big league ready. Like to see the power numbers really improve here. And, I think he may start at AA again. We're going to swing at that one way late. This controller, I swing so hard, this controller is going to eventually fall apart on me. We're going to try and steal here with Ellie. There we go. And then we're going to hustle into third. So first to third on the hit and run. And that will put runners on the corner with nobody away. Nice hit there for Cam Collier as he is dripping in sweat after that plate appearance. I don't know if Matt McLean is in the lineup today. I forget. We can go to batting order. No, so Matt McLean is not in the starting lineup today. We'll see him. And then, because he is probably the one guy who is pretty close to making that opening day roster. He just needs to have a couple more games where he gets base knocks, and then he'll probably make the opening day roster. Just behind on it. That's a sinker right on the middle. 1-1 count here for Tyler Stevenson. And that's probably going to be a double play, but that will at least score De La Cruz. We'll lead this game 1-0. 6-4-3 double play for the Oakland Athletics. I thought about changing their stadium assignment. There was one stadium that I downloaded that I liked. We'll have to see. We can change it. I'll show you guys after this, and then we can change it. I think it would make it more interesting. And it's not a terrible stadium. It's actually pretty decent, pretty cool looking. I looked at it like maybe a month ago, and I saved it for that exact purpose, as I wanted to possibly give it to the A's. It was meant for it to be the Las Vegas A's, but we're going to keep them in Oakland in this series. Alright, so here's Brandon Williamson, and this is probably one of his last chances to show out and show what he can do. He's got a 5.93 ERA and only 13.2 innings pitched. His whip is atrocious, and he only struck out 11, so this is his last chance, pretty much, to solidify himself. I thought last year, that he was pretty good in the games that he started. I think he was a part of the September call-ups, and he pitched pretty well. Now that we're here in spring training, we got other guys like Victor Castaneda, Jonathan Heasley, and Andrew Abbott, who are kind of like, you know, trying to take that position from him. Now, I'm not saying that Brandon Williamson cannot win the long relief position role. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he can't be on the big league roster, but he probably would be our first man up at this point. You know, if a pitcher gets hurt, he would be our first man up. We'd call him up. There's Jace Peterson. Thought it'd also be fun to play the Oakland Athletics just because that's Mr. Hurricane's team and his franchise that he's running. And he got some exciting players on that team. Makes me excited for our second draft to see if we can't get a generational talent like he did in his series. I feel like we got similar. All right, Jace Peterson lays down a bunt. Stevenson behind the plate, and he airmails it. No way we're gonna allow him to get 3. What a wicked turn of events. Lays down a bunt. Tyler Stevenson overthrows it. Okay, and then Will Benson makes the play in right, throws it on to India, and then India makes a perfect throw to third to get him out. Just ugly baseball. That's spring training baseball right there. Here's Aledmus Diaz now, as he swing and misses. But yeah, I feel like we came away with similar players in our first draft. I came away with Marco Bautista, and he had Aaron Don. They're both left-handed guys who had real good contact, lacking on power, and they're just not. They don't have that outfield arm, and so we're kind of both in a predicament. So I kind of like these Black Cats with this little spring training uniform. Looks kind of cool. So now we have Fraley, Benson, and Winker due up next. Fraley's batting 189 here in spring. We're not going to really hold that against him, and the reason we're not is because last season for us, he batted 265 with 18 homers, 24 doubles. Not really worried about it. He only struck out 98 times, which not terrible, I guess. So I'm not worried about his numbers here in the spring. I think that he'll figure it out. If he doesn't, we got Reno Grichuk who can take over in left full time. We're going to watch that one go. Now the problem, the one thing with Fraley that does suck is he's only seeing right-handed pitching. He's not hitting with lefties on the mound. And so that makes you wonder, like, how is he only batting 189 against righties, and that's who he's supposed to really hit well against? Because it might be time for a new controller, folks. We're just gonna poke the bat out there and try and stay alive, ground out to third. All right, Will Benson, it's your first at bat of the spring. You know, what do you got? And he's gonna get a base hit. So he's batting 1,000 for us. And he's got that 88 speed. I mean, he's another guy that, if somebody gets injured in the outfield, he'll probably get the call up before everybody else just because he has that big league experience. Yeah, this controller is just feeling flimsy, folks. Might break on me. Oh my gosh. There's Winker. But when I play MLB The Show, I have a problem of just squeezing so hard on these controllers. Can't help it. Don't know what to do to change it. So Winker batting 279 here in the spring. And he is a really good hitter. I just can't be silly with him. I have to be patient, find the right pitch. So 0-2, I'm going to go contact here. And as you guys know, Jesse Winker was a Cincinnati Red, and then they traded him to the Seattle Mariners with Eugenio Suarez. And now he is back in a Reds uniform after he hit free agency. And he was sitting there, and nobody had picked him up. And I figured, screw it, let's pick up Jesse Winker, and kind of glad we did it. I think he can be not an everyday. I don't know that he'll be an everyday player. I think that he could be a DH versus right-handed pitching, and then versus left-handed pitching, as he strikes out on the cutter. Versus left-handed pitching, he still is not that bad. He used to be kind of rough, but he's gotten better. There's Jonathan India. He's batting 229 here in the spring. He will be starting at second base for us this season, even though he hasn't been great here in spring. As India will ground this one over to second, and that will be the end of the top of the second. I like these A's hats too. Here's Ramon Laureano. Kind of forgot he was a part of the athletic squad since it's been a long time he's been there, and 7-year career with the Athletics. Hasn't been anywhere else, and he'll probably retire out of there if that's the way that he's looking to go here in this series. As Williamson pitching pretty well right now. Can he have a good second inning? I'd like to go like 4 or 5 innings with Williamson. He gets to strike out on Ramon Laureano. If we can go 4 or 5 innings with him, and he doesn't allow an earned run, he'll keep his chances alive to have a chance to make the big league roster. But right now, it's not looking good for him. Jordan Diaz now, 0-2 count. And he's going to get Diaz swinging, so 2 quick strikeouts here in the bottom half of the second. You know, it's Lawrence Butler. I think Mr. Hurricane is the only reason that I know any of these players for the Athletics. It's crazy, growing up, you know, I knew a lot of baseball players because of playing video games. I knew a lot of the football players because I played the games. Obviously, I've watched football, I watched baseball, I watched basketball. But I knew a lot of the players just by playing the game and watching TV. And You know, I'm not trying to get into, this would be something that I would make in like a commentary video, but nowadays, children don't know anybody. They don't even know who the starting quarterback is for their favorite team. I don't know, it's just kind of crazy to me. As Brandon Williamson will strike out the side, I should say. Good job there for Brandon Williamson as Stuart Fairchild, batting 286 here in the spring. I think it was a battle between him and Nick Senzel. I think I just missed that from crushing it. So it was a battle with him and Nick Senzel on pretty much who could be that starting center fielder. I think Fairchild is winning the battle right now, but I don't think Senzel has played bad either, though. As here's Ellie De La Cruz, who we will keep in to get another at-bat here. He's 1 for 1. Looking for some power here. As he'll get a base hit. That was a real funky looking hit. So De La Cruz 2 for 2 on the day. Let's just put it that way. He's getting on base. So last time Collier got a base hit, we're just going to steal right away with De La Cruz. And I think he's toast. Yeah, they pitched out. That's the one thing when you steal on the first pitch, you know, they're probably going to pitch out. If you steal on 2 strikes, they're not pitching out. I mean, on 2 balls, 3 balls, they're not pitching out. So that's a little unfortunate. De La Cruz is thrown out. Gets caught stealing. So the 1-out base runner doesn't mean anything. And with nobody on, we're just going to swing normal with Cam Collier here. Fouls off the cutter. But I've had a fun time with this series. I've had a fun time with the fact that I haven't tried to rush anything to try and keep up with what other channels do. I haven't tried to rush anything. And so I think that that's been a good thing for me. As, you know, my main goal is to just really have fun with my main goal was really just have fun with this series. It wasn't really to try and cover a certain amount of ground in a certain amount of time. It was just, hey, let's just have this franchise, let's have fun. If it takes 3 years, real life, you know, for me to wrap it up, then that's how long it takes. I'm doing this because I want to have fun with it. I'm not trying to put out content that's going to get me 1 million subscribers. You know what I mean? So So 2-2 count here. 3-2 count now as this is a going on a 10-pitch at bat here for Cam Collier. Can we show some power? He might have a chance to beat that out. Now, if that was De La Cruz, he probably could have beaten that out. And here's Brian Ramos. So, actually, as a matter of fact, Brian Ramos is the guy that we traded to the Oakland Athletics. I forgot, Benson was picked up, I think, on the waiver wire. We got Will Benson back, but we sent over Brian Ramos, who's a 22-year-old. He's 64 overall, and he's got a lot of pop. Kind of wish I didn't trade him, I'm not going to lie to you, but we did, and that's what happened. So Bennett Souza is the other guy that we traded as well. We'll see if we see him today out of the bullpen. He pitched really well for us last year. But here's Brian Ramos, though, a guy who could potentially be making the opening day roster for the Athletics and for us. I think I added him to the 40-man. I didn't want him on the 40-man. It helps the Athletics out. We sent Brian Ramos to the Athletics for Will Benson, who we have in spring training but only has 1 at-bat. Alright, so he'll go down swinging, and that's 4 strikeouts in a row for Brandon Williamson. Here's J.J. Bleday now. It's kind of crazy that Williamson doesn't simulate well because he is really putting the ball where you want it every time at this point. Like here we're going to go outside, middle out, or... Okay, he probably didn't place that one the best, but you know, he has been pretty good. Let's see how he does this slider. We want it to be away. Yeah, and he left that one in. So it does look like he has real good command over his fastball. The other pitches is where he starts to slack a little bit. But I'm going to continue to keep him in as he is pitching really well right now. Two 2-0 count here to Manny Pena. See, I don't like this call by Stevenson that does fastball pretty much right down the middle. Yeah, didn't really like that. Will Benson will eventually get there. And Brandon Williamson has faced the minimum through 3 innings. He does not pitch in a perfect game anymore, but he has faced the minimum. 9 batters, 9 outs through 3 innings. Real good performance here from Brandon Williamson. We'll continue to see him in the 4th, and then after that, I think we'll probably call it quits on him. But we need to think about who we want to call in. I want to see Tony Santillan because I feel like he's not. And then Chase Petty, I think I've seen what I've kind of wanted to see out of him. I want to see Carl Edwards Jr. as well. So here's Stevenson. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Two-0 count. But I definitely want to see, I don't even remember his name now. The guy who has not allowed a single earned run. And Stevenson kills this one, sends it to deep left field, and it is caught at the track. As the left fielder also kind of ran into the wall there. Stevenson crushed that one. Just a little bit more, and he probably would have sent it out. Hard hit ball there for Stevenson, caught at the track. Here's C.J. Cron now. And he's swinging hard on the first pitch. C.J. Cron, our biggest free agent pickup. As he's going to send this one deep to left field, and it is off the base of the wall, and Cron, with his slow 21 speed, is going to have to be held up at first. As that's a very long single. C.J. Cron is hitting the ball a lot better. I can say that. He's hitting the ball a lot better. Hitting the ball hard as well right now. As here's Rake Fraley. Late. We're just late on it. Trying to send everything to that left field wall. One away here. Ah, man, that's a terrible pitch to swing out of there. His entire 6-year career spent with Seattle and Cincinnati. I think, was he a part of the Winker trade? As he's hit by the pitch by Paul Blackburn. As here's Will Benson. Hit a double in his first AB. He's 1 for 1 in spring training. He's got runners on for him. Can he get his first RBI? Oh, that's terrible. At first, I thought it was a fastball. That was a good cutter there. So we acquired him from Oakland in 2023. He barely spent any time over there. It was more of like a, I don't really know how to explain it. And if you look at his stats last year, he's not real good. So last year he batted .230 and had 2 homers. Played in 41 games. Was a positive WAR player, surprisingly. His ISO was 150. He wasn't a terrible guy for us, I'm going to be honest with you. His on-base percentage was real good. Yeah, he wasn't terrible. So, I mean, he would be like the guy that would be like, he's first man up. Just due to the fact that I think that he has the experience that an Austin Hendrick doesn't have. And so, you know, let's say somebody gets hurt in the outfield. I think he'd be called up before Hendrick has. Swinging contact there, he almost comes away with an RBI, but I don't know if C.J. Cron has scored there. We got some slow runners on here. Imagine this will probably be Paul Blackburn's last inning here. He might go 5, I don't know. And Benson's got speed, but he will ground out in the double play to end the top of the fourth. Here's Williamson. He's still perfect. Not perfect. He still faced the minimum through 3 innings. Depends how much we want to see of him here in this game. As Benson's there to make the play. Stevenson makes the play, 2 away here in the 4th. And if you're going to have quick innings like this right here, then you might as well just stay in the pitch to 5th as well. And he has faced the minimum through 4 innings. He's been real good in this game. Here's Winker now. This will be, after this, we'll start doing substitutions throughout the diamond here. Couldn't turn on that curveball there. Now, do I want to put Fairchild in? I think we'll go Senzel. Oh my gosh. We'll figure it out. I can't really game plan at the same time as hitting. Maybe as pitching, but can't do that as hitting. Good contact there. We have 5 hits through 5 innings pretty much. There's India. Really looking for him to get a base knocker here. Last time he was up, he had a 2-0 count, and then he sent the 3rd pitch to second, I think, or I can't remember. He's just playing out a little bit above average against right-handed pitching. Dang it, man. That was the cutter. Exactly where you want it, and we're just a little too early on it. If we sit back a little bit longer, we crush that for at least a couple of bases. Take the 4-seam in. There we go. And it gets down for a base knock. So that's what we need out of Jonathan India. He's not our leadoff guy. I think he's going to be batting second for us. Or do we go Stevenson second, Crone third, and then India leadoff? We could go back to India leadoff, and then Stevenson second, Crone third, and then Ellie De La Cruz. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. But I think India, he'll be all right. And the hustle by India will get him called out at third. That was weird. Base knock there for Fairchild, though. Can't look at the replay. It did like, oh my gosh. Now, did India like stop at second, or no? He was running all the way. Just a perfect throw by the first baseman gets him. Being a little too aggressive on a base paths can do that to you. 2 for 2 for Ellie De La Cruz here in this one. And he'll ground out first pitch swinging. So, or ground into a force at second. So, yeah, so we already got the thumbnail for this live stream. Now, we will have to actually go back to getting real thumbnails for the opening day video, which we don't even know who we're going to be playing opening day. We will figure that out in this live stream, though. As here's Ramon Laureano. Alright, so Laureano will hit this one into second. Fairchild, range, Fairchild ranging over, can't get there. Ground rule double, and that will go ahead and bring in Tony Santillan here. I think Williamson's had a good game. There's no reason to continue keeping him in. Here's De La Cruz. We go. I mean, who do we want to see? I think we want to see Matt McLean play some short. Here at third, we don't want to see that one change yet. We want to see Heriberto Hernandez as well. He's been playing really well. I think he may lead the team in homers. We switched up his shoes a little bit. Needed to do that. And then at first base, where's Spencer Steer? We're going to go Spencer Steer at first. No reason to see CJ Cron anymore. I think we're good on that. Right field. Let's go Nick Senzel. Now we can go like this and kind of just swap their positions. That way Fairchild will play in right. And then do we want to see another DH? I think we'll go ahead and check out Gio Urshela. And then is there anybody else that we want to swap? India. No, I think that's good. Alright. So let's see what Santillan's got. So what it looks like is Santillan is becoming just a right-handed specialist. Austin Davis has started contact against lefties, which is a little weird. Brad Hand. I want to see Brad Hand. I want to see Austin Davis as well. But Joe Jimenez here and Will Smith are the guys that are probably not going to have a big chance of making this bullpen. But we will see Austin Davis at some point in this game as well. Probably in the 9th inning. Strike 3. Foul ball. Lucky on that one. Circle change. So we may not see a lot of Santillan in this one. You might see him face strike 3. So Santillan is helping Brandon Williamson get out of this right here. So here's Ramos now. Talked about him in his first at-bat. So right now, Brandon Williamson is in line for a 4-inning, 2-hit shutout, as that one almost hits Brian Ramos. Kind of sucks because I feel like I did like Brian Ramos, and now he may not ever get his chance to show what he could have done as a Cincinnati Red. And I think that he's a key piece for the Oakland Athletics rebuild here. As Tony Santillan gets out of the 5th inning after Brandon Williamson allowed the leadoff double. Good job there by Santillan. There's Cam Collier. Will probably be, I'll probably play the entire game with him. This is JT Ginn here out of the bullpen. In the last 3 games, Collier is 2 for 6. So you got that running fastball. Oh my gosh. So a hanging slider and you have good swing timing, but you pop it up backwards. That right there is the first sign for me that he is not ready for the big leagues. As I changed Heriberto Hernandez's shoes and it looks a lot better. Oh my gosh. Why do I gotta swing very early on that one? Yeah, the white shoes looks a lot better, and man, that sucks because Hernandez would have killed that first pitch had I just swung on time. So here's Spencer Steer. He's batting 300 for us here. He's been probably our best player, the team MVP of the spring. Really kind of enjoying what he's become for the squad. How old is Steer? He's 26 years old. Last year for us, had a really good season. Positive WAR player, I'm imagining. Yeah, 1.4 WAR. Didn't have good ISO, but he was really, really a good player for us. So, makes me excited to see how he can help us out. Now, one thing with Steer I could say is that he's not going to be the guy that we want to be facing a lot of right-handed pitching. He performs better against left-handed pitching. Problem is that if you want to do kind of a platoon system, that's fine, but you also need to think about, you only get 26 people on your roster, and about 13 of them, at least in my case, 13 of them are going to be pitching. So you have 13 offensive players to work with. You're going to need everyday players. You can't have every position be a platoon position. You're going to need everyday players. So that's where it becomes like a thing, where it's like, it just makes sense, you know, we want players that can play every day more than we want players that can't play every day, if that makes any sense. That's why it's fine, you know, out in left field, but even then it kind of, we'll figure out what it looks like with Steer and if he can play every day. I think to start, he definitely will be starting. You know, he'll definitely play every day to start. If he can't get it done, and we have to make a change, then because we can always have Gio Urshela as we get a strikeout with Brad Hand, who is a pitcher who will more than likely be making our opening day roster. He's a good left-handed bullpen arm. Fairchild playing out there in right field now. He's there to make the play, so good job, Stuart Fairchild, as Denzel Clark is now coming up. As I want to get Austin Davis for him, because I want to see this guy. I mean, this guy's been incredible for us in the spring. You know, if he's gonna allow his first run, at least let it be me and not in a simulated game. Brad Hand is moving pretty quickly here in this game. Here's the 11th pitch, 2-1 count to Denzel Clark. Brad Hand, I think, has had one bad outing here in the spring. Other than that, he's been really good for us. This one's hit into shallow left field. Fraley on the move, and he is there for out number 3. To end the 6th inning, 1-0 remains to score. Fraley sends out and Urshela due up. Here's Bruce Steckenrider now. He does that 12-6 curve to Fraley. Watch out. There's the fastball, high fastball. See, if you're going to turn... thought it was going to drop for a second. If you're going to hit that up and in fastball, you got to turn on it. And if you see, Fraley was just a little bit behind it, so you kind of got jammed up. Here's Nick Senzel. He's batting 276 here for us, so he's not really out of conversation. He might beat this out. Yeah, he beats it out. So he's not out of conversation here to potentially make the opening day roster and have what I personally believe would be his last opportunity. Well, he's out. If they challenge that, he was out. I've noticed the CPU really doesn't challenge a whole lot. But yeah, I think that this could potentially be Senzel's, oh my gosh, last chance to prove himself in a Cincinnati Reds uniform. It's becoming to that point where it's like we've given this guy plenty of opportunities. He's been hurt a lot. He's finally healthy. How can he perform? And that's where we're at with him. So Urshela pops that one up to center. Steckenrider's making quick work here. I don't think we're seeing any pitches. It's only the 5th pitch, and we got a runner on first and 2 outs. And he's only throwing 5 pitches. Hogan Harris and J.P. Sears in the bullpen for the Athletics. Try and see some pitches here with India. I don't want to have a 5-pitch inning. 1-2 count here. India watches the fastball. 2-2 now. Senzel will steal. He's in the second safely. 3-2 count upcoming. All you gotta do is poke one out in the right or left, and it should score Senzel. And instead, India will walk. So runners on first and second for Senzel's rival at this point, Stuart Fairchild, who's batting 297 with 1 homer, 774 OPS. I think he is hitting a little bit better than Senzel. He shows off a little bit more pop, as he's, I'm going to say, probably late on that fastball. Yeah. See, and late again. That's the end of the top of the 7th. Senzel with a base hit in the inning, but no offense, no runs here for us. So we're going to go Carl Edwards here. And I think this is my first time pitching with Carl Edwards Jr. Five-pitch mix out of the bullpen is crazy as well. Let's go. Is there anybody that we want to replace? Yeah, let's get Fraley out of there, and let's go Nick Plummer. And I think that's it. Cam Collier at third. Should we remove him? Yeah. Let's go ahead and put CES in. Christian, that's all it said on the thing. So 3-1 count as Carl Edwards Jr. is looking at potentially walking Stephen Piscotty as he gets the strike there. Oh! Encarnacion Strand takes that one right off the elbow. 106 off the elbow. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think in real life, your elbow is broken. Right off the forearm, maybe. Oh my gosh. I don't think he would be staying in if that was real life. Estevan Florio. Actually, I'm going to see, do the A's have Felipe Beltran get their Plummer? I want to see if they'll bring in Felipe Beltran, because I feel like it would make sense that he was on their big league roster. Where's their first baseman at in the lineup? Okay, so Jordan Diaz is their first baseman. So we could see Felipe Beltran potentially. A guy who we probably, I'm not going to lie to you, we probably would have taken Felipe Beltran over Marco Bautista. As William Simon Neat crushes this one to give Oakland a 2-1 lead here in the 7th inning. Carl Edwards Jr. has been real bad. Two to one, A's lead now, and it's going to be Estuary Ruiz. We have one away. Gonna have to keep him in here, you know, get through the inning. That's all I can really say to him. He's got this 5-pitch mix, but in my personal opinion, it doesn't really mean anything if you can't control it, if you can't place any of these pitches. You know, I'll give him 20 pitches, and if he's at 20 pitches and he's still not out of this at bat. And his 12-6 curve had the smallest bar. Gets a strikeout. Cal Stevenson up. I don't know if Felipe Beltran made their spring training roster. What is definitely broken? We got a hater in here saying definitely broken. I don't know what they're talking about. What was that? Oh. Yeah, I think it would have been broken in real life. No, that's not a hater. That's probably my #1 fan in the chat right now. So Carl Edwards Jr. is getting tired as he walks Cal Stevenson, and I think from there I'm going to bring in Austin Davis, and we'll just see how good Austin Davis is. Facts. He's not allowed a run yet in spring training. Don't plan on doing it now, so we'll keep him in here for the bottom of the 7th and potentially even the 8th inning as well. Right now he's lacking control. 2-0 count. Ramos fouls it off. Two count here. Let's go circle change. You look at the confidence. Oh my gosh. You look at the confidence that Austin Davis has on all of his pitches. McLean makes the play, and Austin Davis will get us out of the 7th inning. But we are down 2-1 now. William S. That's what we'll call him with the 2-run home run. See who they put at first base here. Is it going to be Ruiz or... Trevor May comes into the game. I don't know who that is. So I'm guessing Felipe Beltran is not on their spring training roster. McLean hit that ball hard, just foul. So he'll be wearing number 29. As he's going to try and crush that one. Instead, he just sends it directly up into the air. Too shallow center. Zach McKinstry now will take over at shortstop. And here is Christian Encarnacion Strand batting 185. Thought he was going to have a chance to potentially make the big league roster here in spring. He's playing with a broken arm right now, so all the props to him. I don't know how he didn't crush that one. Too early, it says. Now he's looking silly swinging. 1-2 count here for Encarnacion Strand. And he'll line out to the first baseman. Yeah, I can say it probably was the broken arm for sure. Here's Heriberto Hernandez. Try to be more patient with him because he's a lot of fun to hit with, and I don't want to swing at bad pitches for him. There we go. And that'll get down for a single. This guy is a lot of fun to play with. I think that in the future he could be our everyday catcher. Tyler Stevenson could move to first. But this guy hits the ball real well. I had fun with him. If you go back to one of the earlier episodes, after the trade deadline, I made an entire episode where we just played with those guys. One of them was Brian Ramos, and then Heriberto Hernandez, and I had a lot of fun playing with Hernandez. Once I got into a groove hitting with him, he would crush the ball. So, let's hear the bets in the chat. You think Austin Davis is going to allow a run, or he's going to allow 0 runs? Let's see what everybody's saying here. Let's see what the #1 fan is saying. Let's go with the slider here, see if we can get him. Alright, 0. There's strike 3, so Austin Davis with a strikeout there. I think he could potentially be our best relief pitcher. Now, obviously, he's probably just on fire right now, and that's why his confidence for all his pitches is up. You know, eventually he'll get rocked, and he'll go through a little bit of a cold streak. But right now in the spring, he has been dominant. He pretty much can't be touched right now. 2-1 count. Alright, so he falls behind. We got a 4-pitch mix here for Davis. We'll go sinker here. And he's actually going to walk Manny Pena. His whip is actually really good. Here's Shea Langeliers. Umpire's not really helping out right now. That's a bad call. That was an easy strike. Let's go sinker, see if we can't make him ground into a double play. Good pitch there. Let's go circle change. Let's go circle change in. Ooh. McLean on to India. On to Steer for the double play. So if you said 0, you were correct. Austin Davis. Dominant pitching out of the bullpen. Just Christian Pache, who was a guy who came up for the Atlanta Braves, and a lot of people thought that he was going to be really good. Since then, he has struggled since he really popped off at the beginning of his career. Here's Nick Plummer. He's batting 115 on the season. He was a guy who it was his position to lose out there in the outfield. You know, he was probably going to be our starting center fielder or right fielder. Since then, he has lost that battle because he just couldn't get it figured out. As he'll ground out to second for out #1. Here's Senzel. He's 1 for 1 on the day. As we are potentially 2 outs away from losing this game, unless Nick Senzel can be a hero. Oh my gosh. So I did forget to say, in the last game, we have to hop in there and do like a quick manage and hop in for like the last out. So that way I can set this lineup and figure out who's going to make the team or not. And see if that helps with the CPU not bringing, you know, just the CPU doesn't mess with my roster. They tend to do that. Staying alive. Good job there by Senzel. It's a pitch you got to swing at. So we've been streaming for about an hour now, so, and this game is almost over, so I think we're making good time, as I don't know how they can say he held back there. Staying alive. I think with guys like Nick Senzel or Stuart Fairchild, I think you just have to contact swing 90% of the time. Senzel's going to walk. And here's Gio Urshela. Last time up, he popped a fastball up. And he does it again, like the same exact place. Good swing timing again. And he literally hit that in the same place. The pitch was in the same place. He hit it to the same place. The swing timing was the same place. Rough day for Gio Urshela. Here we go, India. It's going to be a base hit for him. That kind of shows how good of a hitter India can be, because that's a hard pitch to hit. And it's going to come up to Stuart Fairchild here. And he's going to pop out to center field to end this game. The Oakland Athletics win after a nobody hit a 2-run home run to win the game. I want to look, do the A's have Felipe Beltran in their lineup? So we look at the box score. Ellie De La Cruz with 2 hits, Collier with 1, Hernandez with 1, Crone with 1, Will Benson with 1, Senzel with 1, Jonathan India with 2, and Fairchild with 1 as well. And if you look at it, Nick Senzel and Stuart Fairchild are in a battle to see who will be our starting center fielder come opening day. And whoever is not the starting center fielder is more than likely going to be starting out at AAA. So if that tells you anything. Brandon Williamson pitched really well. Carl Edwards struggled. Tony Santillan and Brad Hand did well. And then Austin Davis clearly did his thing once again. So let's hop out of this game right here, and then we'll mess around with our lineup just a little bit. All right. Pitching rotation, I don't think there's really anything to mess with here. I don't think there's really anything to mess with. Brad Hand, Will Smith. Is there anybody that we want to see more of at this point? I don't think, pitching wise, I don't think so. Lineup wise, though, is it time to see a little bit more of I think it's time to see a little bit more Noelvi Marte, and I think we can see Ellie De La Cruz right here against lefties. Third base, Cam Collier. I think it's time to see a little bit more Christian Encarnacion Strand there. Catcher, I think I'm happy with what we're seeing there. First base, Crone. We can go with Steer. Left field, Fraley. Man, he needs to keep getting his hits here. Hendrick will be out. So here's what we're doing now with the you need to see some more of India and DH. That's what I want to see these next couple of games. And then versus left-handed pitching, I want something like that. Pender, Grichuk, Steer. It does suck because for guys like Nick Plummer, Will Benson, Austin Hendrick. I mean, Hendrick hasn't shown us anything. Cam Collier hasn't shown us anything. But 179. I think that And Nick Plummer's been our worst hitter overall. So that's not good. If we go to transactions, anybody pending? No. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and simulate the next 3 games, see what everything's looking like. As we win this one against the Guardians, 2 hits for Encarnacion Strand. So he is actually making a push right now. CJ Crone is struggling. Stevenson goes 0 for 3. Fraley goes 1 for 2. Grichuk with a hit. Winker with a hit. India with 2. Urshela with none. Matt McLean 1 for 4. Senzel 2 for 4. And Stuart Fairchild 1 for 2. These guys are battling it out right now. Castaneda 1 earned. Heasley none. There we go. Good job for... I think Heasley's making a push right now. All right. Marteo for 2. Stevenson with a hit. Okay. Grichuk with 1. Heriberto Hernandez. Steer 1 for 4. Plummer 1 for 1. India. Senzel 1 for 4. And it's Stuart Fairchild 1 for 3. These guys they're battling for that spot. Stevenson with a home run. Jonathan Heasley allows 2 earned in 5 innings. Lucchese and Hand. And Phil Bickford allows 3 earned. Not good. Carl Edwards bounces back. 6-7 loss here against the Los Angeles Angels. Ellie De La Cruz goes 2 for 3. CJ Crone 1 for 1. Noelvi Marte 1 for 1. Urshela 1 for 4. India 0 for 1. Heriberto Hernandez 2 for 5. Christian Encarnacion 2 for 6. 1 for 3 for Steer. 2 for 5 for Chad Pender. Good job there for him. Will Benson. Nick Senzel goes 3 for 5. And because of the fact that he just went 3 for 5 in that game, I think that he's going to start to pull away from Stuart Fairchild. We had doubles for multiple guys. Senzel with 2 of them. And then looking at the pitching, Lucchese allows 1 earned in 5 innings pitched. Williamson allows 3 earned, and I think that's probably going to be it for him. Justin Dunn, Will Smith, Carl Edwards, Joe Jimenez, Alex Reyes, and Chase Petty. So let's go ahead and look at the pitching rotation. It's a battle right now. Andrew Abbott, it's 1 game, I think, because he's got one game left. Yes, this one here against the Mariners. I think he'll be our number 4 guy. But it's going to go down to Castaneda or we want to get another game out of Heasley. Who started this game? Did Castaneda start this one? No, let's go Castaneda. Or no. Heasley. Heasley swapped with... So if we go Abbott, Castaneda, Heasley, I think that this is going to be the final straw right here. We have to. One of these guys is going to be on minimum rest, and it's just the way that's got to be. Because we need to figure out who's going to pick up that number 5 spot in the starting rotation. And then looking at the bullpen, Justin Dunn has pitched well. I think he's going to potentially be our long relief pitcher. Tony Santillan, he'll be a middle relief pitcher, but it's just... he's in a weird situation. Chase Petty's also pitched pretty well. But due to the experience of Justin Dunn, he will be our long relief guy. Brad Hand, pitching really well. The 3.72 ERA doesn't look good, but the .93 whip is really good. Will Smith, he will be at AAA. Austin Davis will be up here at the big league level. Carl Edwards, don't know yet. Phil Bickford, don't know yet. Joe Jimenez, AAA. Alex Reyes, really, we don't know yet. I mean... it's interesting. We'll figure it out. And then the lineup is the last thing. You know, these guys are all getting their at-bats, I think. Nick Plummer's obviously not getting his at-bats. Was he ever really given the chance to turn it around? You know, I think at this point, I think we know who's going to be making the roster. And so it's just now a matter of I'm actually going to move Senzel up to like number 2, just because I want to get him some more ABs here. But we at this point we pretty much know Encarnacion Strand, Grichuk, Pender. It sucks because Chad Pender has played well. Grichuk has played better though. And then as far as Jake Fraley goes, he didn't really play that well. I think we just go ahead and simulate the rest of these games. We lose 2-5 in this one. De La Cruz goes, and it does not look like it was a good outing for Andrew Abbott. So Ellie goes 1 for 3. Heriberto Hernandez goes 2 for 4. This guy is killing the ball. Steer 1 for 2. Matt McLean 1 for 1. How did Senzel goes 0 for 3? Stuart Fairchild 1 for 3. Gio Urshela with a hit as well. Ooh, that does not. So, Andrew Abbott, 5 earned runs. That's not good. Austin Davis continues his perfect ERA. He has not allowed an earned run in spring training. Justin Dunn is pitching so well right now. Is he potentially in contention for a starting position in the bullpen? I'm not going to lie when I say that. I think Andrew Abbott, did he just potentially blow it? Heasley's 27 years old. You know, it's kind of like a now or never situation with him. Castaneda's 25. Andrew Abbott is the younger guy. So unless one of these guys just absolutely sucks, Andrew Abbott might be a AAA pitcher. I don't want to have to do that, but Matt McLean is out for 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, I'm glad it's not 1 to 2 months. Let's put him on the 10-day injured list. We lose. I mean, we win 6 to 4 here. That's the first injury that we've had. That's surprising. McLean goes 1 for 1. And how did he get hurt? Had to have been on like a slide attempt or something. I don't know. Senzel goes 1 for 3. Stevenson 1 for 3. Ellie De La Cruz 1 for 1. Hernandez goes 1 for 1. Jake Fraley 2 for 3. Jesse Winker 1 for 1. Nick Plummer 1 for 2. Christian Encarnacion Strand gets a hit. Noelvi Marte with 2 hits and Steer with a hit. Home run for Nick Plummer. And then looking at the pitching, Victor Castaneda, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned. He will be making the opening day roster. Chase Petty, Brad Hand. Brad Hand does his thing again. That's nice to see. Joe Jimenez, Carl Edwards Jr., and Alex Reyes. Okay, so because of the fact that we don't So we'll go to quick manage.
Play ball. 3.
Yeah, so we'll go to quick manage here, and then we'll come in for like the who gets the 3-run homer. Dude, this Burger dude is killing us.
3.
So that does not help Jonathan Heasley out at all. Oh man, I don't know.
Take your base. Ball 4. Ball 4. Take your base.
Not good for Heasley.
4. Take your base.
India with a double. Who scored? Fairchild with the RBI. He's 2 for 2. So he's making a push for that starting position right now.
Your attention, please.
So there's a pitching change now.
Ball
For the
4.
Guardians, number 20.
There we go. Double for Spencer Steer.
Mackenzie.
Heasley's still in now. Bottom of the 6th. Does he stay in? He's staying in.
3.
He gets out of it.
Now pitching for the Guardians, number
3.
71. Xavier.
3.
He's staying in.
Curry. Pinch hitting for the Guardians, number 2. Tyler. Freeman.
Okay, you might want to take him out.
Your attention, please. Now coming into pinch hit, Taylor.
That was a... Okay.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Are they cute? I'm so dumb. Oh my gosh, dude.
Now pitching for the Reds, number 28.
3.
Alex Reyes.
So I want to apologize real quick because the only reason that Jonathan Heasley stayed in is because I didn't take him out. I didn't realize that I was going to have to do that. I thought it was automatic. So we have to ignore this last game for Heasley. That's my fault entirely.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the
Fairchild goes 3 for 3.
number 75.
Ball 4. Take your base.
There we go. Fraley. Alright. I want to do something.
Now
I want to see what Austin Davis can do one last time.
41.
3.
Austin Davis.
This guy's incredible.
Now pitching for the Guardians, number 99. James. Karen Jeff.
So we're going to enter the game. I think Andrew Abbott, unfortunately, is going to be down at the AAA level to start this season. Heasley does not deserve to go down to the AAA because of my mistake. So therefore, I think that it is only fair. So here's Christian Encarnacion Strand. Because of the fact that I did quick manage, I didn't do any substitutions, pinch hitting, pinch running, none of that. So the way that this worked out is the way it's going to work out. I messed it up, but it's the last game of spring training. At this point, a position battle shouldn't be coming down to the very last game.
Up next in Cincinnati.
But Stuart Fairchild is 3 for 3. This is a big at bat right here. If we go to these guys' numbers are literally almost the exact same. Fairchild gets a hit right here. It's literally going to be a flip of a coin to see who gets the starting position. I should not have swung at that. Not trying to screw over Fairchild. If anything, I'm rooting for him. Like I said, we're going to have to ignore Heasley's numbers. Maybe the first 4 or 5 innings we can take into account. But from that moment on, anything that was allowed, we're not going to be counting against him. Hits that one hard to deep center field. Center fielder on the move, and he gets there to make the play, and the Guardians win 7-1 in the spring training finale. See, we didn't make any substitutions. It was the last game, so I'm not really too worried. But Heasley, not his fault that that happened to him. That was more primarily my fault. But Austin Davis was. Let's forget about Heasley. Let's talk about the fact that Austin Davis dominated in spring training. All right, so let's talk about who we're going to be sending down. I think Joey Lucchese's got to be sent down. But before we get there, do we want Justin Dunn? I think Justin Dunn will be our. Chase Petty had 10 innings pitched. I think we got to go Justin Dunn because of the experience. So therefore, yeah, Joey Lucchese sent down. So if we have 40 guys, we need 26 men on the roster. It means we got to send down 14 guys. From there, I think Andrew Abbott and, like I said, I can't take what happened to Heasley and use that against him. Therefore, I think Andrew Abbott's got to be sent down. And then the last one is going to be Brandon Williamson. Victor Castaneda will be making the roster, and then Chase Petty as well. We're going to have to send him down. So let's go ahead here and move into AAA. Brandon Williamson also going down to AAA. Andrew Abbott down to AAA. Unfortunately, I think Andrew Abbott's probably the first guy up. He ruined it in his last start, and that was what ended his opportunity. So if we go to pitching rotation, we will see Hunter Green on opening day. And we'll see Lodolo and lastly Graham Ashcraft. And I think that the way that's going to go is it's going to go Hunter Green opening day, then Nick Lodolo, then Graham Ashcraft, then Jonathan Heasley, and then Victor Castaneda. And then from here, so we need 7 guys in here. So I think Will Smith and Joe Jimenez will be down. Ooh, don't want to release him. Don't want to release him. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 2 guys to go down here. I think it's got to be Phil Bickford and Carl Edwards Jr. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Phil Bickford and Carl Edwards Jr. Crazy thing is these are like our top guys. So from there, I think we're going to have something like what in the world is going on? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, I mean, if we wanted another pitcher, we could go another pitcher and add a new setup, man. But for the time being, I think that our pitching staff will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll see how that works. If we need to go 8, You think it should be 8 pitchers in the bullpen or 7 pitchers in the bullpen? If it's going to be 8, then we know we'll probably bring up Phil Bickford. But I think for now, this will give us the best opportunity. Austin Davis was clearly our best pitcher. I don't know what position will give him the most innings. I think 7 is probably the way to go there. Alright, and then moving on here. Cam Collier will be going down. And I think he goes down to Double-A. Christian Encarnacion Strand will be a interesting one. We're not going to make our decision yet. Matt McClain. We're going to keep Matt McClain up. I think his versatility allows us to get creative with him. MLB Marte. Gonna move him down to AAA. Right here, unfortunately for Chad Pender, Randall Grichuk has won this position battle. Therefore, Chad Pender will be moved down to AAA. And then here in center field, what a battle. We'll have to compare stats on these two. Will Benson down to AAA. Austin Hendrick down to AA. And then I think Nick Plummer will be the last guy down to AAA. And I think that's where it stands. So if we go to the lineup, so does Christian Encarnacion Strand make the opening day lineup? Another thing too is like, is Winker gonna start in right field? What's the last position that we need? DH. So I think it would be like that, and I think that you do go Steer and Fairchild both starting. I mean, not Steer. I meant Senzel and Fairchild both starting. You know, you got Gio Urshela, who is the all-around infield guy. You got Randall Grichuk, who will be purely platooning with Jake Fraley. You got Christian Encarnacion Strand, who can be that. Eventually, you're going to get Matt McClain back. And Matt McClain can be your utility man for pretty much everywhere. But for now, does Christian Encarnacion Strand make the roster? Or does Matthew Nelson make the roster? I don't think Matthew Nelson makes the roster after Heriberto Hernandez did what he did. You know, would you rather have Otto Lopez be given an opportunity? I mean, he hasn't really played. He's not on the 40 man. Or do you call Joey Votto up? You get him on a 40 man and then do your thing. You know, it'd have to be somebody that's on a 40 man roster who you would call up. It can't be. I was gonna say, you know, it can't be Noelvi Marte. I think it's Christian Encarnacion Strand, man. And so, therefore, let's go over to the lineups and let's get this lineup set for what I think is going to be our everyday lineup. Fraley there, and I think you got Winker batting 6th. I think you go Steer here. So this is against right-handed pitching. Do we have any lefties? No, we don't have a lot of left-handed bats in this lineup. Steer and then Senzel, Fairchild. I think they both made it. I think that they both played so well that it's hard to say one guy didn't make it over the other. And then right here, this really doesn't matter. What is it? I don't know what position they need. Oh, pitcher. All right, and then versus left-handed pitching, I think we go the exact same here. I think we go. Unfortunately, Gio Urshela can't be a starter because Jonathan India will be the starter there. And I think batting 3rd, you're going to have Heriberto Hernandez. I really like him, but for right now, he cannot be playing. I think right here you're going to have Randall Grichuk batting 5th. And then you get Winker after that. I think you're going to have Steer bat 6th. And we do need a DH here. I think that's right here is going to be Gio Urshela. Winker, I don't think is going to add that much to the team. So I think you're going to have Gio Urshela there. Then you got Nick Senzel, and you got Stuart Fairchild. If one of these guys start to struggle, you can put Heriberto Hernandez out there. Even though he technically hits right-handed pitching better. So you have Fraley, Winker, Encarnacion Strand, and Heriberto Hernandez on the bench against lefties. This is the lineup we're rocking with. I think it's a really good lineup right here. Nick Senzel is probably the one guy who is kind of like out. I like that lineup. I'm not gonna lie. So now if we go down, we need to figure out the AAA situation. Want to have what, 6 guys? I mean, Joey Lucchesi, Andrew Abbott, Brandon Williamson, Vladimir Gutierrez, and Chase Petty. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who's the one guy that we can add that's like okay, so from there we just gotta. Alright, please tell me they didn't do anything stupid. Okay, they didn't. So, Williamson's had 2 of his minor league options used. So it didn't do it. So Nick Plummer is the one guy they called up, I'm guessing. just trying to make sure that they didn't call up anybody that we didn't want. They did put Cam Collier down to AAA, which makes no sense. Steer and Encarnacion Strand. Matt McClain, when he gets back, will then have to send somebody down. And unfortunately, I feel like if it's Nick Plummer, okay, it'll be Nick Plummer. That's who they called up. Not really anything I can do about it at this point. So Nick Plummer is there. Pitching rotation, let's make sure that they didn't. Yeah, so they did. Why in the world does this game do that? I don't understand it. So it'll be Hunter Green starting, Nick Lodolo, Graham Ashcraft at number 3, Jonathan Heasley at 4, Victor Castaneda the 5th, and then Justin Dunn will be your long relief guy. And then, as far as this goes, Justin Dunn, your long relief, like I said, Alex Reyes, Austin Davis, Tony Santillan, Brad Hand will be your middle relief pitchers, and then you got Lucas Sims at the setup role and Alexis Diaz as the closer. We'll see how that works. We may need to go 8. If we need to go 8 pitchers, then that's what we're going to have to do. Lineups, they probably did change a little bit. Yeah, they did. Why does this game insist on doing this? Steer is starting. I don't know why this game wants to do that. Until he's shown that he can't, then he's starting. Right fielder, once again, this game, man, needs to just go a little hands off here. I don't even remember who was better. I think it was Senzel, so Fairchild will be hitting last. DH is going to be Jesse Winker. So it should be something like this. Ellie De La Cruz, leadoff, India, second, Tyler Stevenson, third, CJ Crone, then Fraley, then Winker batting sixth, then it should be Steer at third, right? You could go Urshela, but I'm going to go Steer to start the season. And then you got Nick Senzel and Stuart Fairchild. There you go. And then left-handed pitching, it's the same start, the same 4 to start. Then it's Grichuk, okay? And then it's Steer, and then Urshela. It's like this. So Ellie De La Cruz, Jonathan India, Tyler Stevenson, CJ Crone, then Randall Grichuk, then Spencer Steer, then Gio Urshela, then Nick Senzel, then Stuart Fairchild. Could we go Steer? Yeah, let's do this. And that puts Plummer, Fraley, Winker, Encarnacion Strand, and Heriberto Hernandez on the bench. So there we go. And we'll be playing the... So for some reason, MLB The Show doesn't realize that, hey, Cincinnati Reds open up at home on opening day 10 out of 10 times. So... when is the first scouting? It's that first Sunday, right? It should be. Overall, we are the 25th best team. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Isn't there one other guy I wanted to have? Vladimir Gutierrez. Why do we have 9 relievers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's crazy. All right. So we should have 5 of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Landon Sims will unfortunately have to start out at AA. Same with Connor Overton. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want Andrew Abbott, Brandon Williamson, enjoy Lucchese, Chase Petty. I want Chase Petty being a long relief guy. Just because his stamina is just not good enough, in my opinion. Alright, and then lastly is AA. Richie Ott, Ryan Galvin, so we want 6 of these guys pretty much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Connor Phillips, unfortunately, will be at single A. Why does it feel like AA? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do they have a lot of guys down here? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this guy would be the closer, technically. I think he's not going to be really that good. We'll see what Irvin Graham's got. I mean, he's not good. So, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. 1, 2,